Episode 24. What Begins to Bloom. May 1994. Spring advances quickly across Tessie. The long days begin falling into rhythm, morning work in the fields, afternoons in the greenhouses, evenings spent planning what still lies ahead. For the first time, the Kingsepp farm feels truly alive in every direction. The greenhouses flourish. The orchards respond beautifully, and once again, Peter finds himself quietly amazed by his father's instincts. Walteri seems to know exactly which plants belong where, which varieties thrive together, how to draw the greater yield from every square metre of soil and glass. It feels less like farming sometimes, and more like understanding something invisible. Not every project moves as smoothly. The peat fields remain uncertain. There are still hopes that workable peat lies beneath the surface, but by summer, a final decision will have to be made. If nothing rises by July or August, the land may instead become farmland. Another adjustment, another adaptation. At the same time, the farm continues moving toward more advanced production. The new barn alone is no longer enough. Fazer now requires all milk deliveries to be processed and bottled before delivery, which means another expansion. A proper dairy facility must be built beside the new barn. More equipment, more investment, more pressure on the farm's finances, and the pressure is becoming visible. Despite the growth, the available cash on the account begins shrinking dangerously low. Machines, construction, livestock, infrastructure, everything costs money now. Still, the next harvest season is close enough to keep hope alive. And among all these practical concerns, one mystery continues quietly in the background. Walteri's fascination with flowers. More pots appear every week. New experiments fill corners of the greenhouse. Strange combinations of colours and species begin spreading through the farmyard. Peter watches carefully. Knowing his father, he is certain this is not simply decoration. There is an idea behind it. Something Walteri has not yet spoken aloud. Saturday, May 28th, 1994. Another season begins in Tessie.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Vintage Survival Estonia and In Farming Simulator 25. So, we got a lot of stuff here going to the roadside, and as you can see, we are already May 28th. So, a couple of months just have been going on. Things are getting pretty, routine, and just selling stuff and doing the daily chores, waiting for crops to grow. That is the one thing, and this is probably the neatest one. I have made a tactic. My technique is evolving, developing. So now I did put these last 3 ones on like so. I could get 9 on this place, but next time I will change my thing. I'm gonna put the last 3 ones from the back, so that's a little bit more easier and a little bit more realistic. I started to fill up this from the end, so that's why these are here. But now I got the measurement. So let's see, is this the record one? Because the best one that I've sold during these 2 months was 33,536 kroons. So let's see. I'll bet this will be our best load. Before this, I have sold 9 times. Oh, sorry. And that equals 148,433. So this is basically the routine. But I've decided now that I'm gonna do this basically once a week. Oh, 20. Dang. 35, yes, and a bit. 36,000 something. Yes, sir, that was the best one. Okay, money. We need that because we are going to make a purchase, and yeah, we are gonna get a little bit more bigger milk tanker. Yeah, that is it. So the one thing is that I have changed my sound setup. I have fiddled around one day with this, and I don't know, do you hear a difference? Because what I did earlier, because I'm on PS5, what I did was I had to have my commentary and my game sound on the same track, so I couldn't make them separate. They came from the PS5 video, as one. But now I have fiddled around and I got this thing to work. So I have took my video capture card. I can't record, by the way, on that because I want 4K, and I have not yet purchased 4K video capture card, but I will at some point when financially will be when I'm able. So, and so now I got just from the HD card, I can take my my sound separately, out of the HDMI cable through the video capture card, and then I can have also this game sound separately. So now I can adjust these, and my voice will be, I can adjust it also much better. So let me know on the comments if can you hear any difference. You probably could stereo. I don't know, but yeah, check it, let me know how it sounds. But this is kind of a live test. But it took a long time to figure out how to get those sounds working, but I got it. Then I bought, I think you probably saw on the intro, I bought that Technostroy, which is previously, which was that name, and it's now there's FarmTech. So that trailer I bought 5,600. I love this bike. This is just a dream. And if you take a look at this, these guys have this new expansor here, and the harvester. There's a new harvester for sale. A little bit worn down, but anyway, much better than we have. Yeah, and a whole lot of stuff. Oh, don't go there. I'm gonna leave this. Probably Arvo can drive this back home some morning. Yeah, let's leave it here. Shiny, I like it. Colibri. Awesome. So let's see what we are gonna buy. This guy, we're gonna get. It's worn down, little old, but it will do just fine. And then we are going to get this guy. Yeah, there would be these Volvo trucks, but I don't think we need this new. This is just well, maybe we will upgrade or something, but this is just, yeah, pretty cool. And you can, oh, let's see again. Yeah, the animation, look at that. If you take the first person view on the inside, let's wait a while, and you go in, really cool. Damn. Oh, but now I could see that my person there, but anyway, really nice. And it sounds good. Yeah. So, what we'll do, I'll do the paperwork with Tams, and we'll get some milk out of the cows, and I will see you at the farm. Let's see how much milk do we have, because we have quite a lot compared to the other cycles that I'll be selling, but yeah, that was too. That's pretty good. I would have liked a little bit older trailer, but this is just good and what we have. So okay, I will go do the papers and I'll see you at the farm, and let's see how much milk we get. Hello. All right, we got our truck, and it was 26,000, and the trailer was 49,000. So that was a little bit more than this truck. Yeah, but it is what it is. This is an old truck, but it works for us. Really good. Oh geez, I knew this. So I need to probably go on that side. So yeah, a little bit easier to take the corner. And it's pretty loud, but luckily I can adjust the volume now. Yeah, so what else has been happening and will be? Yeah, I sold one load of milk, 3,400, and firewood I sold a couple of loads of 14,000, so not much. That is not going. So let's take first, and there's our new milk processing. We had to get this. This was 50,000, but had to get it because the Fazer doesn't accept unprocessed milk, and also the goat milk was becoming a little issue, and I kind of it's too much work with those smaller pallets or packaging which comes out of that one thing. So yeah, we got now cow milk here, and pretty good, really good. So the tanker holds 32,000, but obviously we don't have that much. And we have done a little gravel spreading also in the yard. So there's only 1,700. Oh, but this guy, this has the most. I'm really 15,000. Yeah, I'm really yeah, waiting for next day, because yeah, the peat thing is a little bit. Oh, let's take the I can't remember. In the world of me, where was that? Oh, there at the end. Yeah, the peat thing, how does it go? And just in case I did fully, prep the fields, the peel fields. I don't know, does it need to, but these guys are now, fertilized and lined and everything. But this other one, I left it intentionally so I can see now on the next month, does it kind of accept more fertilizer, or does it even have any meaning? And I am betting that this will change from this state straight to ready to harvest. But we'll see. Yeah, and quite a lot of damage on this field. Okay. And also I'm testing out, the boar feeding things, and I think they don't work when you have a whole map purchased. I have a whole lot of these here, and they are not consuming anything. And but I will keep these guys, a little bit further to the winter, and we'll see. Okay, 18,665. I'll go sell these to the Tams. They can start again. They run out of milk and start again their production. And speaking of Tams, they still owe us that 300,000, so that is on the books still. So they are now standing on 300k, so they probably will pay 1/3 of that. So that is 100,000 coming in at some point. Yeah. Noah has been really busy on the sawmill and carpentry. Alright, this will take a while. We got only 170 horsepower, so, and the wheel is on this side. Yeah, but that's okay. I wonder, did Italy have on the 60s, 70s right hand side traffic? I don't know. But we have indicator sound even. Yeah, I'm not in a hurry. We'll go slowly. Is that a handbrake? Accelerator? What the heck? I don't know how this works, but it's cool. Alright, I will see you tomorrow morning, and let's see about that peating and also start the harvest. And actually, yeah, by the way, it was barley, not oats. Yeah, barley harvest. All right, it is June 1st, and we are going to that pea field, and I'm gonna fertilize it. I was wrong. It had this kind of a stage. Yeah. So next month, next episode, I think we're going to be able to start that one. Yeah. And the reason is because it clearly shows the yield bonus. So that is the reason why I'm going to just little bit, maybe play it safe. But yeah, nothing has grown, but I am thinking how will this change on next month. As you can see on the lower right hand corner, 50%, and this field is yield bonus 100. Yeah, so that is why I'm gonna do it. And the money has gone up, as you can see, and oh, my headphones are hitting the mic. Milk gave us 11,300, and Tams, I visited Noah and mentioned about that thing, the money thing, and he immediately said that they're gonna pay 100k because these are crop damages on this. How will that work? I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting to see, because these guys don't have any crop damage, and obviously these kind of I have, as you can see there. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, they paid immediately 100,000. That was pretty good. And yeah, it was raining in the morning, so I had to wait a little bit. So I think we are pretty good. Starting at noonish, maybe. Yeah, I think so. And yeah, one thing, as you remember on the last episode, I had this issue with the with these peat, making these peat fields, creating new ones, and it said that this crop cannot be planted in April. So I waited first until May, and it still didn't. It gave the same message: can't be planted in May. So I just, for the sake of the series, I just bite the bullet and I disabled the seasonal growth, because I also reached out to Carl TG and asked, has he noticed this thing after the update, and he pretty much had no idea that this is happening, and so that's why I decided, figured or had an idea that I can do it that way, and it worked fine. So and then I turned it back. So just to let you know if anybody else is having similar issues, so you can work around like that. Yeah. And yeah, the one thing is my father. I don't know what the hell is going on with him with those flowers. They are just, going everywhere. The pots are appearing all over the greenhouses, and there's all sorts of deliveries coming from Netherlands, and I don't know half of those those flowers what they are. And yeah, I gotta if I know my father, he has something up in his sleeve, he has something on his mind, and I need to ask him. Yeah, we'll see what he says about that, but I will just continue this and get organized for the harvest, and yeah, start rocking and rolling. And oh my god, there's just a little bit. Maybe I can manage back just a little bit back then. Yeah, maybe, possibly, yeah. Okay, I will see you in the afternoon. All right, welcome back, and yeah, Ilves Brothers have also started their harvest barley. I just hope that they will get a little bit more money, and yeah, they're gonna sell that barley and wheat and the grains what they have straight to the Fazer, because they are paying a really nice price. What was oh my god, the water pole. Yeah. I have seemed to place them in quite a difficult places, because I'm hitting them all the time. I don't know why. Yeah. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so we have two fields to harvest here. It's just a real old, yeah, it lowers down because sorghum was the last crop that I did. Right, so a little bit up, and front like so. That's pretty good. Yeah. And we need to get straw in April. Yeah. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, 2 fields. If we take a look on the map, so on there Maggie's field, field 19, and this 13, and oh my God, there's those goddamn peaks. Yeah, so this is going to the chicken coop, and I just hope that we could get it full. I'm not sure what Maggie is gonna do with her half, but let's take a look of the chicken coop here. It holds quite a bit. As you can see, we're pretty much gonna run out soon, but luckily we get the feed just now. So maybe, what about that? Is it 100,000 liter? Possibly, but a lot. But yeah, I just hope that we will get, so much that it will last through the year. But obviously those chickens are multiplying like crazy. So, but that's a good thing. Thinking about the egg production. Yeah, but I little bit I scratched my nose and immediately left there a bit, but this was stupid to back up. Probably spent more fuel than gained grain. Yeah, so and also the summer worker has arrived, as you have seen or heard in the intros and outros. Marja Linde, she's somehow related to Arvo. I'm not exactly sure how, but yeah, maybe we will learn. I'll probably ask her sometime. Yeah. But I will continue. This will take a lot of hours. I'm not gonna spend money on the harvester because we don't need bigger one, at least not yet, because we only have like 1 or 2 fields. Obviously Maggie's, but we'll see later time maybe. But not for now. Yeah, but I'm just hoping for the Ilves brothers to get a nice amount of money out of this harvest and get some money. Yeah.
Harvest season begins gently. The weather remains favourable. Machines work without major trouble, and for once, the season starts with a sense of calm instead of urgency. Across the valley, even the Ilves brothers begin seeing real profit from their work. Peter is genuinely happy for them. For years, he has worried about the weight they carry, more mouths to feed, more responsibility than most families in Tessie. At the farm, the new chicken house settles into routine life. Fresh feed arrives regularly, and straw reserves begin growing rapidly for the winter ahead. Peter even considers selling excess bedding material. There may finally be enough for everyone, and eventually, unable to ignore it any longer, Peter decides to ask Walteri directly about the flowers. What began as curiosity now feels like something more important, something personal. At the same time, a new face becomes part of life at the King Sepp farm. Marja Linde, 17 years old, raised in the old kolkhoz apartments nearby, blonde-haired, determined and studying with dreams of becoming a veterinarian someday. Most of her work happens alongside Walteri in the greenhouses and with the animals, but she is already capable with tractors and fieldwork as well. Young enough to still be searching for her place in the world, yet old enough to understand hard work, and perhaps, in ways Peter does not yet realize, part of the farm's future too. Episode 25 is coming. Join us and subscribe to the channel to get notified. And thank you for watching.